Language Center at the University of Bahrain is delighted to feature Ms. Magdalena Forminska and Ms. Olga Chernyshova. It is my pleasure to introduce Ms. Magdalena, who holds an MA in English Studies and an MA in French Studies from the Pedagogical University in Krakow, Poland. She is a lecturer in the Department of Foreign Languages at the University of Nizwa in Oman, and it is also an honor to introduce Ms. Olga, who is a lecturer in the Foundation Institute at the University of Nizwa, and she is a Cambridge speaking examiner for the British Council. Their presentation is entitled, Building Up Employability Confidence in the English Language Classroom. If you have questions or comments during the presentation, please feel free to utilize the chat box. There will be a brief 5-minute question and answer session, 5 to 10 minute question and answer session at the end of the presentation. Welcome, Ms. Magdalena and Ms. Olga. We can see your screen beautifully there, and you have the floor.
Good afternoon, dear colleagues. We are very happy to take this unique opportunity and to attend this incidental and honorable conference. And we are here in Oman on the same wave with Dr. Sultan in Australia. So we are going to talk about the same.
Excuse me for one moment, Ms. Olga. We're having a difficulty with your sound. There's a lot of interruption. It's difficult to hear you.
That's from my side.
Maybe you could move the microphone a little closer.
Closer, yeah? A little bit closer, like this. Is it better?
Yes, much better.
Much better. Oh, okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
So what I mean that we are here in Oman on the same wave, on the same wavelength with Dr. Sultan in Australia. So, as you mentioned, the title of our workshop is Building Up Employability Confidence in the English Language Classroom. And first, we'll talk about this employability confidence from the point of view of the post-knowledge era. Then we will talk shortly about the concept of future skills. Then my colleague, Mrs. Magdalena, will introduce the triple helix model for future skills. And we will talk about, she will present the techniques to develop future skills, and we will have questions and answers. Okay. Can you hear me now properly?
Yes.
Yes, yeah, okay. Good. So nowadays our society is moving towards the era that can be described as the post-knowledge era. All witness these incredible changes happening around us, and an entirely new world is being birthed just in front of our eyes. And step by step we start realizing that the era of knowledge, or the information era, is going behind. So we are leaving behind this era, and we are stepping into something new. Yes, which is which can be called like post-knowledge era. And this post-knowledge era is looking at the knowledge in a different way. So the value and the meaning of knowledge is changing. So, and now knowledge is not viewed as the most important and crucial component, ingredient for action. And knowledge is very important, of course, but it's not the end in itself. And we cannot treat knowledge as something developed and stored somewhere, even in our minds or in the books. So it's different. Now knowledge is viewed as a kind of a form of energy, kind of system of flows and networks, something that does things and makes things happen. have a clear picture, let's look at what knowledge era and what post-knowledge era emphasize. So knowledge era emphasizes direction, order, stability, coherence, simplicity, control, autonomy, universality, while post-knowledge era emphasizes fragmentation, diversity, discontinuity, contingency, pragmatism, so solving real problems in real conditions, what other speakers mentioned, multiplicity, connections, uniqueness that leads to know-how and know what knowledge transforms into knowledge using knowledge, just knowledge creating new knowledge. Okay, so in the post-knowledge era, knowledge is characterized through completely different paradigm, and it requires more comprehensive concept of individuality. And the post-knowledge era pushes us as teachers to change our perception of knowledge and to make us, first of all, make ourselves to be able to help prepare our students, future employees for their workplace in the future, and to help them feel more confident in terms of employability. And our task as teachers and educational practitioners to adjust, to modify, and new approaches in teaching to help our students to discover their own potential, to discover their unique inner resources, and then to encourage our students to contribute these inner resources to community, to society. How can we help? What can we do? Yes, what can we do? This is kind of summarizing. Yes, the post-knowledge era sees, views knowledge in different way. It transforms through volition, ability, values, and experience. Yes, and students should be taught how to work out themselves what to do, and teachers should help students to investigate and reveal their own potential. I'm so happy that we are here today in this conference. Those teachers who really feel that we are able to help our students, because it's hard to believe that some students were not ready to use technologies even a few years ago in their classrooms. So what can we do? Help our students. First, we need to think about what abilities.
Miss Olga, may I interrupt for one moment?
Yeah.
The voice quality is fluctuating. Your voice is it's coming in and out. So if you could speak closer to the microphone a little bit and a little bit louder, perhaps we could hear you more clearly.
Okay.
Thank you so much. And thank you to the attendees for your patience. We have done a lot of testing of the, Zoom audio and everything beforehand, but we all know that technology, we do the best we can. So thanks for your patience.
It will take time. We are just in this transformation period, this stage. And
exactly.
sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. Just if you can speak closer to the mic, it's a little bit clearer for us. Okay. Thank you.
So here is the set or the spectrum of personal abilities that will play a major role in a workplace in the near future. So what are they? Self-organized capacity to act, creativity, innovation, ability to act under new, unknown, unprepared circumstances, solving complex challenges. Yes, and of course also Post-knowledge era employees, our nowadays students need to be able to locate, assess, represent new information quickly, communicate efficiently with others, work productively in collaboration with others, be adaptable, creative, innovative, understand things in a bigger picture. So, this leads us to the definition of future skills. All this, but it's good always to refresh. So future skills are competences that allow individuals to solve complex problems in highly emergent contexts of action, in a self-organized way, and enable them to act successfully. They are based on cognitive, motivational, volitional, and social resources, and are value-based and can be acquired in a learning process. So my part is theoretical, and to sum up this part, okay, the world is changing drastically, and we, teachers and educational practitioners, should be aware of it and react correspondingly. We should foresee what future skills students will need in the future, in the near future, and help students to increase their employability confidence under new circumstances. So this is what we can do, and my colleague, Mrs. Magdalena, will share with you how we can do that. So, practical part.
Right, so let's review the future skills. Skills is defined as the ability to act successfully on a complex problem in future unknown context. And it refers to...
Can you increase the volume? We can't hear.
Can you louder?
So I'll start, I'll try to speak up. Is it better now?
Miss Magdalena?
Yes, can you hear me?
We can't hear.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, that's much better.
Yes, okay, so now we know. All right, so I would like to overview our future skills. So the term is defined as ability to act successfully within complex problem of future unknown context.
I'm sorry, Miss Magdalena. We need you to be closer to the microphone, please.
Okay, so future skills refer to individual disposition to act in self-organized way, visible to the outside as performance. Is it better? I hope you can hear me. So what is the most important phenomenon is this shift from knowledge to competence. And this change focuses that on the fact that knowledge is no longer the most important, but it is capacity to act. And skills are understood as competences that represent the dispositions to be able to act in complex, unknown future contexts. Also remember that skills and competence, they express relationship, and they always relate to something. For example, communication skills, they are not meaningful from the pure course of action, but in an act itself of communicating in the context in which they occur. On 3 dimensions of future skill according to triple helix model, and we are focusing on the concept, on 3-dimension concept structure, in which skills and competences are interdependent and interconnected. They are integrated with each other. Always they interact in concrete actions. And those 3 dimensions, as you can see, it will be a relationship to oneself. So it will be so-called self-competences. It will be a relationship to an object. So how we deal with a task, And finally, a relationship to the world. So how a learner can identify himself with the relation to organization. Future skills profiles cannot be clearly assigned to one of those three areas because always they are interrelated. So they don't occur separate, but they all make contribution to this capacity to act in highly emergent contexts with success. So what are these future skills? Let's have a look. We have learning literacy, self-efficacy, digital literacy, systems competence, self-determination, self-competence, reflective competence, decision competence and sense-making, initiative and performance, designing thinking, competence, of course, communication competence, ambiguity competence, cooperation competence. Finally, ethical competence, future and design competence. This is the representation how those skills can be grouped to represent either to subject, so-called self-competences, either to object and world. How can we teach future skills in the classroom environment? We have to admit that social media are inseparable from teaching process. They are inherent in nowadays learning environment because they are everywhere, they are omnipresent, and they are very easy, just ready to use and don't demand from us even any preparation or further thinking. Just you collect samples, you ask students to use them, and you can prepare a very lesson. So, for example, here, because I want to show you, so this comes from Oman Air official Instagram account. In context is that, of course, the pandemic and everything that, yes, it's okay, happening during pandemic. So Oman Air official, they released a series of posters encouraging people to, informing people that they are ready to fly. So we can use this poster. And then there are comments. There are comments, different comments, as you can read quickly, different comments. Some of them, they are unpleasant, they are rude, they are inappropriate. This is the language not from the book, this is real life language. Okay, so what we can do with this source material, then we invite students to step inside and place themselves in the situation. We ask them to person, peer manager, and then encourage them to reflect on how they respond to the comments, how they can construct the reply that will satisfy the customers. So here we'll have we'll have students to cooperate with each other. We can design it as pair work, group work. They will have to use formal English. If this is the case of presentation, live presentation, they can use body language. Of course, they will also have to use technology, like PPT slides, video recording, vlogs. They will present in public. They will have to adapt also ethical and cultural approach. Encourage students to have the confidence to question and deconstruct the traditional views, and also to share and value others' contributions, because they will work in groups. So they have to produce an official statement replying to those unpleasant comments, and at the same time showing professionalism and directly relating to a real life employment workplace situation. Another example, Omantel. So this is the offer from Omantel, and also we have comments. These are in Arabic, but we can ask them to also to translate, and then again to reply officially for this kind of situation, how represent the company in a best possible professional manner. Another example, it will be to invite students to imagine that they work for a tourist group and they need to organize a campaign to promote their region, country, city. So students will have a chance to identify themselves with the task, because it will relate directly to their places. And I'm sure all of them, they want to share that with us, with classroom mates and teacher. So ask them to collect, take photos, prepare posters, social media accounts, create. They will love to do it. This is actually the part of the everyday life. Examples from this is from Instagram, but there are a lot of examples also in other social media like Facebook. So this is example how to boost this tourist account business, how to make people attracted to visit Oman or visit Bahrain, visit any country in the Gulf, any country in the world. What to include in your presentation. They have to be aware that they have to use the language very in a concise and compact way, because nowadays people don't have time to read. They want everything ready-made, handy. So this is also a very good way to handle the language in a active way to get another examples. So this information very compact and clear. So again here, advertise for free. So once again, enrich your classroom diet. Encourage students to collect data that they can use in the classroom. That can be everything: screenshots, websites, live streaming, vlogs from social media. Foster the use of technology. Make them present in Zoom, in Google Meet. Involve students in experimenting with multiple sources. Invite them to create their own materials, their own blogs. And how can we do it? How can we do it? It's easy to say, but we can encourage them to do it.
Thank you so much as we bring things to a close, if you don't mind.
So yes, I'm just finishing. Just a final remark. We can share our own experience as a teacher, as role models. So we can show that you can do that, because we teachers, we can do that. We are sharing with you our experience in Oman, so Muscat Beach, Jabal Agdar, Sur. So we can show them that this is easy. You can prepare these materials yourself and then share and use the language effectively. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you so much, Ms. Magdalena, Ms. Olga. Really appreciate your insightful ideas. And we really appreciate also the slides. The sound was a challenge during the presentation, but I thank the attendees for your patience and for the ability that you had to follow through on the slides.